Okay, so everyone should have received earlier this week an email from the board and attached to that were the minutes of the last general meeting. So I wanted to see if there was any discussion about the minutes from the previous meeting. Okay, yes, all right. We will add, and we didn't cancel, we canceled Neighborhood Watch as it was, but there will still be notifications sent out by Bob Kraus, who is in charge of that. He'll still be sending out email blasts occasionally, or he'll have articles in the Lifestyle magazine or in our LPG Observer, our quarterly newsletter. So it isn't completely, it's not like we're just saying forget it all. It's just we're going to focus on the safety part of it, making sure that all residents will be able to get the information they need to maintain safety in and around their homes and for their person. Okay, so we'll add that. Okay, so with that added, we will add that blip onto those minutes. With that added, are there any other questions, first of all? And do I have a motion to accept the corrected minutes? And a second? We got that, and all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, they are accepted then as corrected, and thank you for catching that. First of all, we'll have the LPG Observer committee member or committee head is Sue Smith, so she's going to talk to us about the Observer newsletter.
Good morning. How many were here at last month's meeting? Okay, there's a few of you that weren't here. So we have a quarterly newsletter. I am going out of town on February 1. It's due out the first part of February, so you will be getting it by February 1st. And this is the last meeting until then. And we have designated for this quarterly newsletter that we need stories of Valentine's Day, funny stories that have happened. And there's some of you that weren't here at last month's meeting to hear this, that I'm in need of some stories. So if you don't want to write a story out, you can certainly call me, tell me your story, and I'll write it down. If you have a favorite joke, a recipe, or whatever, send it in. I'm always interested in seeing what kind of stories we're going to have in the newsletter. Did you get the previous newsletter? Oh, over here, you've got both of those. So, anyway, my email address is all over on things, so just send me any of your stories, and that's it.
Okay. The LPG Observer is sent out by an email to everyone. We don't print it anywhere. So I don't know if y'all read the last one, but it was a riot. There were a lot of funny stories in there. It was stories, most embarrassing moments at work or something of that sort. So there were a lot of really funny stories in there. But it's the whole purpose of the Observer is it's our newsletter. So we all put what we want in there. We put the stories in there. All of us, all of the residents here, we're in charge of making sure that we get our stories in there, our recipes, our puzzles, our crosswords, whatever you want. So be sure to help Sue out and get that letter filled up again.
The editor doesn't want to write the whole newsletter.
Which is what she did in the beginning. She had to write just about the whole thing. So it's been getting better. We're getting some stories. So keep it up. You're doing a good job.
From 11:25 until 12:30, we had $21 deposit on 50/50, $135.60 deposit, plus I had $25 more to deposit, for a total of $160.60 for, and we had expenditures. We had $60 for the website updates, and we had $500 that we donated to the 100 Club of Arizona, which leaves us a grand total of $800.45. Okay. As far as the recycle, since 11/29, we've had 146 pounds of aluminum, 361 pounds of plastic, and like I said, for a total of $160.60 total deposits. Thank you.
So, as you can hear, the recycling, I think, is going very well. I can't believe 300 pounds in plastic. That stuff's really lightweight. You'll be at 300 pounds. It started out really slow and really rough when we first started the recycling program. It's been a little over, I think it's a year and a half that we've been doing this now. But I think more and more people are getting on board with this, and it's really beneficial. So we really appreciate that. And I know it sounds like we have a lot of money in the bank account. And I wanted to explain, because there's been questions, why can't you donate $25 every month for this or that? We have a large expenditure that's coming up to maintain the GoDaddy account. I don't know if you're familiar with GoDaddy, but we use that for our website. We also have our webmaster, and as you heard, we paid him $60 for the latest updates. And I know people are asking, well, why don't you put this on the website? Why don't you put this on the website? Every time we put something on there, every time we have to make an adjustment to the website, we pay for it. I will say the price that we pay is unbelievably low. He is doing a very big favor for us. Dee's son is our webmaster. He does have his own business, and he does this for us. So we're very conservative in our costs, and we try to monitor to make sure that we keep things as inexpensive as possible for us. So I just wanted to let everybody know that. Let's see, and I know he's here. Art, where are you? Art Hitty is we're District 1 with AMHO, and he is our Assistant Director for District 1. So he had a meeting yesterday morning here at the clubhouse. He's planning another one, so I wanted him to come up and give us a few words.
Yes, yesterday we had a wonderful meeting in the card room. We had card rooms 1 and 2, and the last 2 meetings we had in there, it's been a full house. So if you haven't had the opportunity, if you're not a member, that's okay. We would love for you first just to check us out in one of our meetings to see the kinds of things that we're covering and discussing. But a little bit about AMHO. For those that aren't members or may not know what AMHO is, it's a volunteer organization representing residents who have manufactured mobile homes, park models on rented land. That's all of us. And there is rental agreements that we all, or most of us, have had the opportunity in the past to sign, and we're familiar with those leases. But the leases are really guided by the Landlord's Tenant Act. Arizona Landlord's Tenant Act is something that we advocate. We write language. We get that language pushed forward by our paid lobbyists. And our interest is for us to have fair and reasonable leases that are governed by the Landlord's Tenant Act. They become law as Arizona revised statutes. So we are the organization that's representing homeowners. And a little bit about membership. We have a membership yellow application that I'll have here. The dues are $35 a year. So if you think about it on a monthly basis, roughly $1 a day, but that's who those funds are used, because we're all volunteer organization. Those funds are used for the lobbyist. Our lobbyist is well known. She works with the state legislators. She visits with each one of those. She's advocating on our behalf. And so I would encourage everybody that has the means to come up with $35 a year to do so. We appreciate the support. That way we continue to basically be the guardian of a living document. And that living document, without us as representatives of homeowners, with a lobbyist, homeowners associations also have a group, and they don't necessarily represent all of our interests. They're a business, and we have to recognize that it's a for-profit business. We need to be reasonable about things and understand that we live in a beautiful, beautiful park here. But at the same time, we want to make sure that there isn't creep, that there are things that are removed from the existing Landlord-Tenant Act, so we need to maintain that. And as things change, like recently, we were able to incorporate language for healthcare assistance within parks. People that are at the point where there may be some kind of handicap or health issue where they might need a temporary or permanent live-in caretaker. So the caretaker amendment was put into the Landlord's Tenant Act, and that allows that person to be in the park, in the home, without being on a lease and without having their names put on any title of the home. I think that was a big thing. And that, as we move along in our years and we run into some challenges, it shouldn't force us out of our homes to go live somewhere if we can get the help inside. So that's just one. And the most recent example, we as advocates for homeowners on leased land have to show an accomplishment that we may all at some point take advantage of. So we are a statewide organization. We're broken up into AMHO districts, so we divided up the state. This is District 1, Mesa, which I'm responsible for. I have monthly meetings here at LPG. I try to get that. I get Peggy to send out an email blast notification about our meetings. Additionally, I put it on our Facebook page. And we also get it in the quarterly newsletter. So I ask again for you to give it a try. We've had classes on the Landlord's Tenant Act. I'm hoping to get another one in. We do go to other Thesman properties. We have one that's coming up on the 16th. So we're really becoming more and more active in the Thesman properties. And I'm also busy outside of the Thesman properties. Mesa has now become Arizona's second largest city. It's eclipsed Tucson. We are the densest population of manufactured mobile home and park model parks in the state of Arizona. We have a seasonal visitor contingent in there, but increasingly we're seeing with seasonal folks later on maybe not wanting to shovel that snow anymore and become full-time residents down here. So very busy out here in Mesa, and I really enjoy the opportunity to help answer questions. I'm always available either at my home, I can come to your home, we can meet up here at the clubhouse, we can go to a coffee shop if you have questions. But that's why I'm here. You can take full advantage of me because I'm in the park. So again, thank you for the opportunity to come up here and let you know a little bit about us. I'll be in the back and I'll have these forms. If anybody's interested in looking at a membership, our website, amho.org. Also, you can do memberships directly through the website. So there's a couple of options for you there. We have our national meeting that's coming up in March. It's actually a statewide meeting coming up in March. And so I was going to announce that on our next meeting, in my next blast. But thank you. Okay, appreciate that. Sure. So it's at the Viewpoint RV Resort at 8700 East University Drive. This meeting is where our board of directors ballots are cast by members. So if you have an AMHO membership, you can re-elect somebody into a position or nominate somebody into a board of director position. So this form, I think, Peggy, did you include this in the blast perhaps? Okay, all right, so that'll come out next month in the blast. So everybody is welcome. Members are able to vote. Only members are able to vote, but we'll have a lot of great statewide speakers from a whole host of service providers throughout the state. So again, thank you. Yes.
I have a question. You said there was a meeting on the 16th. Where is that going to be held?
Las Palmas.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yep. And the beautiful thing about that is we don't have a class here, but there's a class that you're interested in. You know, that sticker on our window gets us into any of the Thesman parks. So feel free to move about the cabin.
Good information, and it's nice to know that we have them right here in our community, so we can just go and knock on his door. Okay. Okay, so next on our list here is our open items. We need volunteers. The board needs volunteers. Our bylaws say that our financial records need to be reviewed once a year. That review is done in January. This is something that's new. So we did, when the bylaws were passed last September, I think it was, this was in there that we needed to find people in January that were willing to just review the financial records. It's not an audit, okay? This is just a review. The books have always been open, and Pam, our previous treasurer, Pam Williams, she organized everything into, so it's very easy to read. All of the funds are accounted for in, deposits and withdrawals and all that. It's been, it's much different than it was. So and she always had the books here. If anybody had any questions, she always had them open up here on the front. So we're just looking for 2 volunteers that are willing to go and look over everything and make sure that everything's in order, that there's no, I don't know what you would say, somebody pocketing money out of the account. So anyone here interested in participating in this, it shouldn't take much more than maybe a half hour, I would say, to just review the financial records. No, I mean, as long as you can add and subtract and you understand numbers, that would be our only requirement. You don't need to be a CPA or anything like that. So, did you have a question, Peter? We got Peter. Make sure you come up and talk with Dee after. Anybody else? We have 1, 2. And your name? Chris. Is our second one. Come and see Dee after. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Okay. I love it when people volunteer. And then we do need to do a review of the bylaws. Our bylaws were just put into effect last September. And so to accommodate the rules of the bylaws, we need to review the bylaws every year. So this is not a redo. Last year we had, the bylaws hadn't been redone in, I don't know, like 4 years, I think. It had been quite a while. So it was quite a massive undertaking last year, but they're pretty much up to date now. They were very out of date then. They're up to date now, so we need to actually have 4 volunteers. We do have a chairman of the bylaws, must be someone that's on the board, and that will be Sue Smith. And then we just need 4 volunteers of residents who are not on the board that would be willing to just review the bylaws with Sue. So I can take a show of hands right now. If anyone is interested, we'll put you on our list. But this is something that we need to have done. I will email blast also to see if there's other people within the community, but the sooner we get the volunteers on this, the sooner it's done and over and in the books, and we can all pat ourselves on the back for it.
This can't be done in January.
No, it does not need to be done in January. Let's see, we have to start this. We wanted to start this like in January sometime, hopefully have it all done by February. So, no. Okay, Sue disagrees with that. We're gonna give her a little more time on that. We call Sue and Larry the cruise couple. They're obsessed with cruises lately. So they travel a lot, so we'll work it around people's schedules is the whole thing. We are retired volunteers. Sue will get a hold of you. She would make sure you understand everything. If you're interested, not sure you want to volunteer, Pam Williams, you'll volunteer. Thank you. Diana Klein, is it? CLN. DD's. Right. Yeah, because you're another traveler. I love your travels. So one more and we're good. And you're. It's Lois Shannon. Lois Shannon. And Dan's having a heart attack right now. Okay, so we have our volunteers on that. Sue will call you and talk to you about it. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. If you do want to do it, thank you. Okay, so we have a couple reminders here. We have a lot of our winter visitors are back, so the community has filled up quite a bit, and there's lots of people walking around, lots of visitors also with those winter visitors. So it's a reminder, walking on the streets and riding your bike on the streets. When you walk facing traffic. So you walk on the left, you walk on the left, facing traffic, and then when you're riding your bike, you ride with the traffic. You are considered a vehicle when you're on your bicycle, which means that you also must obey all of the signs that are within the community. Like you can't go over 15 miles an hour on your bicycle. I know that there's some electric bikes out there, and I don't know if they go faster than that, but just FYI. And you also need to stop at all the stop signs, not just blow on through because you're a bicycle. We don't want any accidents in here, so please, people, be aware of that. The other thing is pick up your fruit. If your fruit is falling off of your tree, go out every morning and maybe twice a day when it really gets ripe, because the fallen fruit draws the animals that we don't want to see. We don't want to see coyotes in here. We don't want to see the javelinas in here. And that's what you're putting food out for when you don't pick your fruit and pick it up and dispose of it. So roof rats are another thing. A rodent in the house is the reason why you sell a house and get out of town. That's my thinking. So please be sure to pick up your fruit. And we do have, it was in the, in an email blast from Lois. There is a family in here. Let me see here. I have the information. Lynn McCarthy in Unit 197. You can contact her if you are unable to. Him. Oh, sorry. Okay, you can contact him if you are unable to pick your fruit, or you are unable to clean up your fruit, or you just don't want the hassle of doing that, which I found out that grapefruit trees have thorns on them or something. Because anyway, but call him and he will come and pick your fruit for free. He donates it to the food banks. So please don't let the fruit rot, number one, because it is usable by others. And number two, we don't want those animals finding that this is the place to go, telling others, the restaurant is at 550 South Ellsworth. So please be cognizant of those. Also, we are still collecting eyeglasses and hearing aids. So if you have those, you can feel free to drop them off at my house. I'm at 418 5th Street. You can drop them off and make sure they get to the right party to be donated. Hearing aids and glasses both can be refurbished, and they give them out to people that aren't able to afford them themselves. So that's another good one. Recycling, as I said, it's been going very well, but people are still asking, well, what do we do with our own, like you want to throw away carpeting that was recently seen in the green dumpster. Someone who decided to throw away their carpeting. That's not what that green dumpster is not for that. In the past, yes it was, and it was okay. But like everything else, times change. And so the rules for the green waste have changed. We just ask people to please go along with those rules. There are places that you can call for recycling if you need it. If you're getting rid of a refrigerator or your carpeting or a sofa or whatever, boxes, empty boxes. You can call the office up here, right at the main office here, and ask them for suggestions or ask them to schedule a special pickup at your residence. Yes, there is a fee for a special pickup at your residence, but it's your garbage. You don't want it, so therefore it becomes your garbage. And it costs money to get rid of your garbage. So you will pay to have that done. If you want to haul it yourself, I looked up on the web. I thought, okay, so how hard is it to recycle if you have stuff? There's Junior's Recycling. It's on East Main Street. There's Mesa Recycling on Center Street, South Center Street, which is where my husband and I have gone a couple times. There's also a place called Southwest Waste and Recycling. That's, I don't have an address for that one. And there's one called American Shredding on North Higley Road. Those are all within our area. They're not that far away from us. You can take your stuff there. Electronics, batteries, refrigerators, any of that type of stuff. You can look them up online. You can call them ahead of time if you want to make an appointment to have these things dropped off. You can call them ahead of time and they will assist you. We are in the process of trying to get this information added to our website. So we will have the phone numbers and addresses and all that on the website. But in the meantime, you can call the office, that's one thing. And another thing is Tim and Joan Most, they're residents here at LPG. They're at 757 11th Street. They take in a lot of stuff that they can refurbish or just simply donate. I think it's at their church. And they have a big outreach to the community for people, the underprivileged in our community to help them out with these things. So even when we bought our place, we tore out all the carpeting. One of the men that was tearing out the carpeting asked if he could keep one of the pieces because he thought it would fit in his child's bedroom. We never know where these things are going to be used. He took the carpeting and he said it fit perfectly, and his child was quite pleased to have new carpeting. So, you just have to think of these things, but think of the green waste as off limits unless you're putting in there the trimmings from your yard. That's all it's for, is the trimmings from your yard. Okay, next on the list, emails. If you're not getting an email from us, come up here afterwards and let us know so we can manually add your email. We are also, I have an appointment this afternoon with a volunteer from our community to update our email list because the new phone books have come out. There's people that have moved. We need to update, make sure that we have everybody on there that we can. But a lot of people don't have their email address listed in the phone book. So if you're not listed in the phone book, you're not getting an email from us unless you tell us what your email is. And one more thing, we have potluck. January 10th, coming up on Tuesday. This one is going to be my favorite team. It used to be the Super Bowl was in January. It's not anymore. So this is not a Super Bowl party, but it's my favorite team. That's going to be our theme. You can If you want to participate, you can wear something to promote your team, whatever kind of team it is, baseball, basketball, football, soccer, I don't know, swimming. You could also promote your grandchild's team, you know, it doesn't matter. It's just, the theme is my favorite team. So we will decorate accordingly, but if you don't want to do anything, you just want to come and see what everybody else's favorite team is, please come. We have a lot of fun. We were at one time before the pandemic that we were up to 120 people coming to our potlucks. When we got back in the swing, we had 30 people, and our last one I think was 62. So we're building back up. People are back here for the winter, for the winter months. So we do expect more people to be coming, and it's a lot of fun. And we have great chefs that live in this community. So please consider attending that. It's January 10th at 6 o'clock, and the Pen and Quill board has a board up there where you can sign and check off what kind of what kind of dish to pass you'd like to bring. Okay, and in the office we have, I don't know if you've noticed, but we have new people working in there. Our office assistant, Candace, had to leave due to lack of childcare and the distance to travel to work. It was really rough for her, so she got a better job at home, which is congratulations, Candace. So now we have Nicole. She's working in the front office, and also we have two people that are the assistants to her, which are Amy and Teresa. Teresa lives in the community, and Amy is the other new person. So give them a little chance to get acclimated before you bark at them. Yes, Les. Oh, Amy does too. Great. All right. Amy Wade. Okay, and Teresa Rolls. Those are the two office, what do they call them, secretaries. They both live within the community. I haven't met Amy yet, so. Okay, that is the open items list. And now we open the floor for residents' questions and comments. And yes, ma'am. The 100 Club of Arizona. Those are the first responders. Can you explain it better? Yeah, I'll let Sue explain it. She did all the research on this.
We had a time, about 4 months, in which everyone could come up during the meeting or send us a suggestion of who they wanted LPGRA to have money donated to them. They needed to be a nonprofit organization. And the vote was taken, and it is the 100 Club of Arizona, which is for first responders. It goes to their families when someone is killed on the job or severely injured. They have scholarships and so forth. And of all the suggestions we got, they had the most votes, and we submitted $500 to them.
I really like that one because it affects us locally, supporting the local. Yes, Pam. Okay, we have a resident within our community whose son was a first responder that was killed on duty. And so she made the suggestion for that, and it passed unanimously. I mean, it was like, I couldn't believe how many people voted for that, and the other ones just got a couple votes each. So that was a big, I think that was a really good thing that we did, that the community, the residents did for someone that lives here. So, anyone else have a question, a comment? Nothing. Okay. I have to say, I personally, and I think the board will agree with me on this, things are going very well in the community. Some of our old problems seem to have been resolved, and I think things are going very, very well. So thank you all for participating. I think that's a great compliment to all of us, that we're happy, I hope, and things are going well. Okay, so if there's nothing else, I want to announce the next meeting is on February 2nd at 9:30, right here in the ballroom. Again, it will follow after Java time. We're going to I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting. Okay, and we are off the books.